Hey everybody, Butch Hartman here. Welcome to Speech Bubble. With me as always is my good friend Jay.
Hey, that's me, Jace Diehl.
No, James Arnold Taylor is here.
Oh, I'm the new regular on the show.
Are you replacing Jace?
Yeah.
Okay, you got to do a very scary voice to get Jace out of here.
I'll just use the Jedi mind trick. This is not the podcast you're looking for.
This is not the podcast I'm looking for.
Move
I'll
along.
see you guys later.
Move along.
Roll the theme music. Hey, Jace. Okay, listen, we're back. Jace, how's your mind? Your mind good?
I was,
Feeling better?
I'm feeling good.
I've never been the victim of a Jedi mind trick. How did that feel?
Well, it feels very weird. Obi-Wan is just in my mind. That's all I could see.
Because isn't that kind of weird? Like, I've had people get into my head.
Yeah.
But not
Sure.
like that. Not like
No.
actually tell me
Yeah.
what to do. Wait, I take it back. I've been married. So my wife is
I was going to say you've not met my agent.
Yeah, well, yeah, there we are. Hey, we're with the amazing James Arnold Taylor. Jay, give it up. Round of applause.
No.
There's
Wow.
a huge
Oh
round
my
of
gosh.
applause happening right now.
Thank you. Thank
Now,
you.
we have James on, not just because he's super adorable, but look how cute he is.
Come on.
You're super adorable. Dude, you are. You're so adorable.
I try. Yeah.
I-
That's what all the girls told me in high school.
Yeah,
And
you're
then
super adorable?
Not date me.
And nothing happened. I like James.
all
He's
you
so
need.
cute. Let's go,
Yeah.
big boy.
Yeah,
Another guy,
let's- yeah.
I
Big
understand.
boy.
My friend.
He's
Yes.
my friend. So James and I have a history together. Not only are we both super adorable, which I just
Correct.
said,
Yeah.
number one.
I'll say that.
Yeah,
I'll back you
sure.
up there.
We're
Sure.
both big fans of Jace Diehl.
Oh,
That's
my
right.
gosh, Thank
Jay
you so
is
much.
huge.
Wow.
And we live in the same area. You live
do.
in the Westlake Village area.
Just in a small portion of your house.
Yes, and our houses almost got burned down
I know.
recently. Yes.
Both of us, yeah. There's actually many voice actors whose the fire affected.
Yeah. Wow.
Nolan North, Rob Paulson,
Yep.
Frank Welker,
Yep.
Charlie Schlatter,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
all
and
of us
Charlie,
are okay.
Charlie still lives up in that area, doesn't he?
He does. He lives down the street from me. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you guys ever have voice fights with each other? Like,
No,
like,
he
yeah.
cleans my pool.
Does he
Oh,
really?
okay.
That's okay. I understand.
No, I kid
least
the
he's
Charlie
Schlatter
Schlatter.
means
yeah,
pool cleaner.
That does. It does.
And
Yeah.
Czechoslovakia or something like that. Yeah. No, but dude, I got to tell you, as a Christian guy, when that fire, because that fire was right behind my house.
And same with mine.
And,
yeah.
and when you see a roaring fire at 1 o'clock in the morning and all you can see is the fire, it's like, well, I'm going to begin to pray now. And we prayed Psalm 91 over our house.
Oh, yeah.
Which is 1,000 may fall at my side, 10,000 at my right hand, but it shall not come near me. And we're like,
That's
look,
right.
that's all we have. But I tell you, our house was untouched. Now, I'm not saying that people go, you really, Butch, prayer saved your house? But I would hate to think what happened if I didn't pray for my house.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did.
You know, there's a story, John Eldridge. I don't know if you know John Eldridge.
Heard the name.
He is a Christian theologian and writer.
Yep.
He tells a
Jace
story.
theologian means a guy who tries to figure out the theology of Christianity.
Kind of like
And
a
now what is
Jedi
theology?
Knight.
It's like about Jace, a Jedi Knight.
I got it.
Jedi.
Okay, when you relate to Star Wars, I
Jedi was
understand.
God.
Yes.
And he told a story in his book, Moving Mountains, about the power of prayer, how there was this huge fire, and they prayed over their house, and it was the only one that survived.
No, I believe that stuff. I really do. And I used to live life without prayer, and I lived it with, and to me, it's really changed my life, made things a lot better for me.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you feel the same way, right?
What have you got to lose? That's what I tell people.
There you go. Exactly. People, I think a lot of people have their pride to lose. Like
That's it.
I can't do that. I won't be cool.
Give it up, be wrong. It's one of the first things I learned before getting married. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to not know everything. It's okay to admit it.
I can't do that. I can't do any of those things.
Now the Jedi mind trick again. It's okay to be wrong.
On Speech Bubble, I know everything. This is not the bubble you're looking for.
And I just watched it on TV, so.
We said a lot of big words. You okay? A lot of big words.
Yeah, I
were
think
said.
I wrote them all down. I'll research them.
Yeah,
later.
yeah. Good.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Well,
look
now, Big James over here. I
Big
call him
James.
Big James.
Ah,
Big
yeah, somebody has
Big
to.
JAT. This guy has the career of a storied career in voiceover. Now, I just
Should we run down some voices that he's done?
Well, let's walk the audience through a couple, but let's go back to where we met. Number one.
Sure, we met a long time ago. Let me tell you a story, children.
Yes.
There was a young man named Butch Hartman.
Yeah. What a stupid name
He
that
created a
was.
show.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
There was a spin-off that needed to happen that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But for this show, Fairly Odd,
Something.
Something.
I've heard- yeah, something. A fairly odd something.
Sprigg Spivak.
That was you.
Yes, or Crash Nebula.
Yes, indeed.
I crashed the Nebula.
Yes, you did.
Jiminy Christmas, I crashed the Nebula.
And you.
Doc, well, wait a second. Oh, this is.
Are we doing Michael J. Fox? I can't even come close to Michael J. Fox. I can't.
Great Scott, Marty. Weight has nothing to do with it.
Calm down, Marty. I didn't disintegrate anybody.
The molecular structure of both Einstein and the car are completely intact. Then where the heck are they? The appropriate question is, when the heck are they? You see,
He just cleaned it up.
I just sent them back to the future. Yeah, it's
1 minute into the future to be exact.
And at precisely 1:22 a.m. in 0 seconds, we will connect with Einstein and the time machine.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I actually
Get Huey Lewis in here.
amazing.
in my stage show I would do where that would be on the screen and I would do it to picture. And
Very
switch
cool.
Back and forth to both.
A lot of people in this, a lot of
I've
audience in
seen
this
that
stage show?
a couple of times.
Yeah.
A lot of voices in that stage.
I remember when Back to the Future first came out in 1985. I
Yes.
got a button. I still have it. It says, I'm going back to the future.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this movie about? It turned out to be one of the greatest movie-going experiences of my life
Sure.
back in the day. Before Netflix, before the internet. You had to go back to the theaters to see movies.
So great.
Which built the anticipation. But it was so funny, so well done, so well written. And, of course, Michael J. Fox became a huge star of that.
Did he?
That's what I hear. Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I hear. That was the word on the street is.
Yeah.
Hey, but I was going to say. So did you do any? Have you ever done a Michael J. Fox impression and on a TV show and gotten paid?
Oh, actually, my career started doubling Michael. I doubled him for things like Stuart Little and Atlantis: Lost Empire. And
Very cool.
so
Wow.
I'd been his double for many things. In fact, they did the Back to the Future video game,
Right.
and I played young Doc Brown.
Young Doc
I
Brown.
did not
Yeah.
play Marty
That's
because AJ Locascio, who is this, I don't know if you've met AJ.
No.
He's brilliant. He sounds more like Michael J. Fox than Michael J. Fox does.
That's
So
weird,
I couldn't
'cause you
compete
sound
with
a
it.
lot like it.
I do. I'm pretty darn good. But they brought me in and had me do a cameo as older Marty. And then they got Michael to come in and do it, and I got bumped. But I still play young Doc Brown in it.
Very cool.
And so Christopher Lloyd played old Doc, and I played young Doc. And it was like, how do you take Dr. Emmett Brown and turn him into a 17-year-old? That was
How did you? Can we
so it was kind of I took a little Marty McFly in there, and I took a little Doc Brown, and I brought it down to here, and it was great Scott Marty, And so it was just he was just younger and just more like in
Okay,
there.
I'm stepping aside now. You can be the new host of Speech Bubble.
Okay.
If you get paid nothing, by the way.
Oh,
you know.
good.
And
like
you
mine.
pay for all the microphones.
That's it.
Go back to Crash Nebula. That's where we met because we had, there was a character on Fairly Odd Parents. It was just a little cameo. We had this guy. It
Yeah.
was Timmy Turner's favorite TV show.
Yeah,
This
Crash
big
Nebula.
superhero space guy. I was going to make a show. I pitched Nickelodeon a show. Hey, why don't we spin this guy off into his own show? And I, of course, wanted to make him the big superhero space guy.
Yeah.
And he was going to drive a flying school bus through space.
Right.
And the show was going to be he has all these alien kids and they never make it to school. Like there's always a problem. Like they get lost and he's lost with these kids and he's always trying to get to school. That it was Crash Nebula, outer space school bus driver.
I did not know
But
that.
Nickelodeon, of course, goes, can we make him a kid? Because all of our shows star kids. And I went, that's stupid. But I went, hey, no, I'm kidding. So we turned him into a kid. It was, how does he become Crash Nebula? And that's where you come in.
That's where I come in. Yeah. And you wanted a Michael J. Fox type.
Yes. And you
And
nailed
so I
it.
auditioned for that. And wait a second. Well, you mean to tell me the school bus is a DeLorean? It's a weird line for you to write in there. But Queen Latifah was in there.
Yep. Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yes,
and I
he
got to
was.
work with him that day. And what a sweet, wonderful, dear man.
Yeah, wonderful, great guy. And,
God bless him.
He played one of the bad alien guys.
Yeah, he did.
It's like the most popular show that never got made. Right?
Exactly.
Everybody
so
talks
So
about
we
it.
made this pilot.
Yeah.
I loved it. Everybody who saw it loved it. But the problem is Nickelodeon didn't love it. And I have a feeling. Here's what I think happened. I was told this many years later.
Okay.
Because at that time I had Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. If they'd given me another series, it would have been like, hey, Butch, here's the whole network. We can't have you take over the entire network.
We can't do it. Yeah.
And I have a feeling a little bit of politics may have played into it. Who knows? You like to think those things, but still, it was a killer pilot, and we had to make it into a Fairly Odd Parents episode. Timmy Turner turns on the TV. We watch the pilot, and he turns it off at the end.
And it still plays, and every time it does, people still tweet me and stuff.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Well, we got to somehow maybe with Access, my new network, we can get the rights back and actually do it.
You could do a Crash Nebula show. Yeah.
I got a couple rights backs. A couple rights back. What did I say?
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah,
you good.
I got the rights back.
Yeah, no.
For a couple shows I pitched, so maybe we're going to do those.
Very
on
good.
Access as well. So
I think it's a wonderful thing you're doing.
Well, thanks, buddy.
And whatever I can do to help by just praying about it, encouraging people, I will talk about it on my tiny little podcast.
Thanks, buddy.
And the 5 people that listen to mine.
I have 10, so
No,
I've
my
double
goodness.
your
Look at
audience.
that.
By the way, over 700,000 people subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Yes.
And over
That's right.
40,000 to this
podcast.
Yeah.
Almost
That's-
50,000. We're close.
Almost
Yeah.
50.
Close.
We're getting there.
Amazing.
Well, thanks, bro. Thank you.
What is
We've
the
had
key to success there?
Well, you know what? Just having awesome people that are fans. We call them the Heart fans.
Yeah.
The Butch Heart fans, and doing 3 videos a week.
Yeah.
plus the podcast. You know what though? What I've learned is, boy, the YouTube world is a very interesting world.
It is.
And the internet world is a very interesting world
It
as well.
is.
And what I've also learned is you can never take. The good comments are great, but when they have bad comments that come out, and believe me, there are a lot of bad comments.
Oh, sure.
You have to just completely ignore those comments because a lot of people will say things. If there's a legit comment where someone's trying to be constructive and help, super great.
Yep.
If people are just being angry and hating for no reason, you have to really ignore those. Don't take those things to heart.
No.
And that's been a challenge for me on occasion because you're like, I have a very young audience that I reach out to mostly. And you want to help those kids, but when kids turn on you for no reason, you're like, why are they turning what they say? Oh, they're believing this person. And it's just sad to hear that. Yeah.
No, I usually will interact with them as much as I can.
Yeah.
And then you kind of turn around because they don't expect you to actually talk to them, I find. But it's the same thing.
Interacting with them is very key.
Yeah, and just
Answering comments,
listening, and
like
because my audience is young as well, and wanting to know about these things. And I started a YouTube channel about 3 years ago.
Yep.
And put out all this content and have had fun. I did last year. I don't know if I recommend this, but I wrote a book years ago that is a daily book. And I decided a daily reader. It's a daily inspirational. It's a positive. It's to inspire you to pursue your dreams.
Good for you,
it's called JAT 365 Daily Inspirations for the Pursuit of Your Dreams.
Can we buy that somewhere? You want to plug that?
You can. You can get it on Amazon.
We can put it in the show notes in the description too.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's not as good as your book.
My book.
You just so then now you plug your book.
I just did a book. I did a book called Vision Possible.
That's right.
I wrote a book.
That's right.
With my wife.
That's right.
And you talk about staying married. Writing a book with your spouse is one of the biggest challenges I've heard.
Absolutely.
My wife, because my wife and I have completely different working styles. I'm like, I work this hour to this hour. I do this. I'm very structured. She's not very structured. She gets it done, but she's like, I got to be here and I got to be in the moment. And it's like, no, we got to get this done. It's a whole different thing.
My wife and I are the same. Now, how long have you been married?
26 years.
26 years.
Longer than Jace has been alive.
That's right.
27 and a half.
27 and a half years?
Yeah.
You beat me. We have parallel lives in a way.
I know.
We look exactly alike.
You see, with the shirts,
the same
they're
size.
opposite color.
The
blue.
collar.
It's all.
We both
I'm
did
trying to fit
Jace
in.
Diehl.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'll
Crash
respect
Nebula
that.
did not go as a series.
No.
But I've heard nothing but the fans over the years say, when are you making Crash Nebula a series? When are you going to do this?
A long time ago. But here's what you did. The kind of guy he is. You then put me in Danny Phantom.
You were Danny Phantom?
As I think a fan favorite. A lot of people.
Definitely.
I'll be at
People
cons and people
love-
come up and they, oh my gosh, I did not know you were Walker.
The
the
ghost jailer.
Yes.
He appears a lot too.
That's
Like,
right.
Yeah, most of them are like one-offs. But
Do you remember
comes in a
the
lot.
original direction you gave me for that? I know so many people, so many actors, so many shows,
so many
scripts.
shows, so many people I care about. No,
You wanted it Billy Bob Thornton.
Is that what I said?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like Sling Blade because Sling Blade was out at that time.
And then I ended up instead doing almost like Billy Bob meets Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
Walker was, that's against the rules, and he was bigger,
totally.
deeper, but he was a lot of fun. And
He is Sam Elliott, isn't he? He's like, wait.
the dude abides, man. That's against the
seen him in
rules.
Stars Born?
Stars Born.
I haven't.
Like this.
He did a movie though recently. I can't remember the name, where he plays an aging actor that now is stuck doing voiceover. And it's very good. It's very. I can't remember the name of the movie, but Sam Elliott, IMDb him. You'll see it was one of his latest movies.
I always remember Dodge Ram. That's all he would say. He was Dodge Ram for like 20 years.
Yeah. Wow. Dodge Ram.
That's all he would do. Now, the thing about James that I love, other than the fact you're an amazing person, you are not a huge person. You're not like 6'5".
I'm 5'4".
You're 5'4", which is
120 pounds soaking wet.
which is the opposite of 6'5". But you do all these voices of these huge people.
Yeah.
Nobody would expect them. Yeah.
For example, don't you do the Fox?
The Simpsons, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers. Oh, coming up next on Fox.
Yeah, I've done that for 18 years. I've been that.
Do you have to do that weekly then?
I
'Cause
do it
comes out-
daily. Yeah.
Daily. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, in fact, I got to leave now.
Yeah.
No,
Do it.
Did you do it at your own studio?
I do it at home. I have a home studio, and it is kind of like being a doctor. You're on call. They will call at 12 and go, "Can you do this at 1?" And then it'll go on the air that night. And
Wow.
Isn't that killer?
Yeah.
I had a brief experience with that in the late 80s where I was doing NBC voiceovers for Saturday morning.
I didn't
Hey,
know
kids,
that.
it's the guys next door, followed by Save the Bell. Save the Bell. Saved by the Bell. I couldn't get it right. That's why I got fired.
That's why you don't
By
have
Save
the
the Bell. No, Save the Bell was the spinoff of Saved by the Bell. Followed by Saved by the Bell. But I would do that. I would, but again, I got for like 4 months, I got called in to do that stuff.
Wow.
But it was it's very nice money when you can get it.
It's not bad.
And it was the same kind of money that we were spending. The same. It was green back then. Still green.
It
now.
is. It is strangely enough. Yeah.
Exactly.
No. So I've done that. I was the voice of Fred Flintstone for many years, which nobody would ever guess.
May I ask you to do? Now we don't have to.
No, I'll do it. But see, if he doesn't believe Jim Cummings is really Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
Winnie
yeah,
the Pooh,
you said that.
So he's
You
not
said
going to
that.
believe He doesn't believe I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Yeah.
even though I've been Obi-Wan Kenobi longer longer than any other actor and recorded more lines and more movies and more shows,
That's true,
more
yeah.
anything as
Than-
Obi-Wan
than
Kenobi
Alec Guinness
than
or
Alec
Ewan
Guinness
McGregor.
or Ewan McGregor combined.
Isn't that amazing? That's amazing, dude.
Yet I'm not Obi-Wan Kenobi to him and many other people.
No.
You're Obi-Wan Kenobi to me.
I know I am, Jace,
100%.
and that's why
Yeah.
we are here today.
That's
Yes,
why
all right.
Jason
And the wall goes up, and we
actually
talk.
fine.
You can actually just take some of this blue off.
This is a very expensive
Take it here.
sign. This is
Yes,
very
let's see
expensive.
from the corner.
Hey, so
Don't do Fred, though.
Let's hear
Yeah,
Fred.
but dabba-doo, well, my Bonnie, brother.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, so you've got...
It's amazing. How do you do
got
that?
Two different
Look how used to you.
Fred Flintstones. So
Henry Corden was the last Fred Flintstone, and that was post-Fruity Pebble cereal, part of a good breakfast.
and that's who I got hired to replace. Henry had done it for 30 years. He replaced Alan Reed, who was the original Fred Flintstone. Alan passed away. Henry took over. Do you know why?
Wait, stop. Well, he passed away.
Well, no, but why did they choose Henry Corden?
Let me. This is gonna be a very silly reason. Must be was he like in the studio? Was he like the engineer? that worked
No,
there?
he was Fred Flintstone's singing double. So anytime you heard Fred Flintstone sing, it was actually Henry Corden because Alan Reed could not sing.
No way.
Yeah. And Alan Reed's voice was Fred Flintstone. I mean, that voice, that's also...
Bonnie.
You hear him in other cartoons, and it's just, that's his voice. That's exactly how he sounded.
That is.
You know,
so now you're going to be a
I'm trying to think of
guard.
Fred
yeah.
Flintstone's song now. It was like, yabba dabba dabba
Yeah.
dabba doo. That was Hokey
Yeah.
Carmichael, though.
Yeah, but there was a couple episodes where he sang, and so Henry was always singing for him. So he took over for him. He passed away. Well, Henry,
He all through the 70s, I would imagine,
yeah,
right?
for 30 years.
Wow.
And then he chose me as the next. They did this
With a flaming was
nationwide
there a
search.
flaming sword?
Yes.
There was
Ordained
literally
into
thousands of people that auditioned.
Unbelievable.
And it got down to me and Fred Tatasciore. I don't know if you know Fred.
I've heard of
Tatasciore.
Fred.
And
Fred's actually auditioned for me a couple times. I think he has, yeah.
he's one of the...
And his name was Fred. He had an edge on
yeah,
him.
there you go.
And he's a big guy. And I walked in, the director literally looked over me. She went, and where's
What?
hi, how you doing? I'm ready to do the thing. And in the audition, they would play Henry, and Henry was in the room with me.
Right.
They'd play him, because he had emphysema, so he couldn't get the voice anymore. And they'd play him, and then I would have to mimic it. And she goes, no, he's not deep enough. And the engineer goes, he's actually deeper than Henry. And she goes, well, he's not, Jackie Gleason enough. And Henry finally said,
Would you stop looking at him and listen to him?
and he made her close her eyes.
Good.
Wow.
May I ask who this director was?
No.
Okay, yeah. Because
No, we
what
became
you're
very good
saying right now
friends.
makes
Yeah.
me very angry.
yeah.
I can just see the whole well, and all that. I just like, look, 'cause
She admitted, and she was a director of TV commercials and stuff because it was for the cereals. But they brought in
$10 you name this person right now. $10. $20.
That's a lot of money.
$20.
That's big money here.
hard cash.
That's some good money.
No, it's Canadian money. It's Canadian. It's
Oh,
Canadian.
yeah, it's
money.
going down in value.
Hey, no, it goes
It's
up
Bitcoin.
sometimes.
So
It's Bitcoin,
they
of course.
brought in Gordon Hunt, who Helen Hunt's father.
Yes, I know
Who was a
Gordon
very
Hunt.
famous director for all of the Flintstones cartoons and things. I met with him, went to his house, and he goes, "So let's just go through some of the lines." And
I read some of the lines, and I do,
and he goes, "Okay, that's fine, that's good." And that was it. I mean,
And that was it.
That casual.
Yeah, but the other directors.
Now will you
they-
clean my car, please?
Yeah.
Would you wax my
Yes, sir.
Rolls
Yes,
Royce?
sir, Mr. Hunt.
Yes, Mr. Hunt.
But so that was great. So I got to do Fred for many years. Nobody expects that. I'm also another one. You'll never guess. I'm the voice double for.
Harrison Ford.
No.
Wait, must be a big guy, right?
Probably one of the largest men ever to live.
Andre the Giant.
yes.
I was really.
wow. Oh.
What, we want the peanut. What was it like from Princess Bride? Yeah.
They made a Princess Bride video game, and Andre had passed away, and so I was originally Inigo Montoya, and then they brought in Mandy Patinkin, and I was Fezzik, so I was doing both. But
So, Andre the Giant is right there. Yes, I could kill you if I tried.
That's
Anybody wanna-
amazing, dude. Because you can never understand what he's saying.
yeah, he does.
You
You
can't
just have
understand.
to kind of, everything is right there.
Oh my gosh. I just found this out. He played the Bigfoot character on the $6 Million Man
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
1970s.
and they fought. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just showed that to my daughter because we started showing her the Bionic Woman.
the Lindsay Wagner one.
Yeah.
Because they remade it. It was terrible. But
I haven't seen that.
It was,
No,
the
I don't
remake was.
even- I
Now
don't.
tell me about your daughter. It was a great story about your daughter. If do you mind sharing this story?
I don't mind.
With those people out there?
Because she is adopted, and adoption is a beautiful thing, and
That's
I encourage
amazing.
people to adopt wherever they
Absolutely.
can. It changes
I
your
adopted
life.
Jace. When did we adopt?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's-
I
When did
think
we- how old were
you
you?
just filed the paperwork last week.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
finalized.
right.
Just happened. Yeah, yeah.
You'll go to the
Without my
judge
knowledge
soon.
too.
Yeah. Oh, that's
my parents
yeah.
just found out.
Yeah,
So
I'm changing your name to Ludwig, by the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead, James.
Okay.
So we adopted my daughter from China, and so we went to China. We spent 2 weeks in China.
Wow.
Did
Did you already know who she was when you went to China?
Yes.
Had you selected her?
Well, no, they select for you.
Oh.
So you really the way it goes is all the nannies at the orphanage, they put all the pictures out of the families and all the little girls' pictures, and then they match people up.
Oh.
And we got lucky. We got the bestest kid in the life.
How
My
about
daughter
that?
Lydia Rose Taylor is one of the most wonderful, talented, beautiful people I've ever met.
Oh, that's incredible.
Besides, of course, yourself.
Besides my son Jace, whose name is Ludwig.
Yeah, Ludwig. Excuse me.
She's fantastic, and she's a beautiful, wonderful person. We actually did a movie together.
How old is she now?
She is 13.
You did a movie together?
We did a movie that has not come out yet, which is a travesty. It's a animated film called Animal Crackers. Have you heard of this?
I've
Oh yeah.
heard of it.
No, and directed by Tony Bancroft, right?
Yeah.
Why does it not come out?
Yeah.
There is all sorts of big Hollywood stupid reasons.
The trailers come out for it.
Yeah, the trailer's
Yeah.
been out for a while because we finished the movie 3 years ago.
I love
Wow,
Tony
okay.
Bancroft and his brother Tom Bancroft.
Yeah.
And they have done tremendous work with Scott Christian Sava, who created the whole thing. Who's a good friend of mine. Another fellow believer who just made this fantastic movie. So I play the owner of a circus, and Ian McKellen is my brother.
So Ian McKellen is my brother, and
Who needs him when you have James Arnold Taylor?
Gilbert Gottfried's in it, and it's very good. He plays a guy named Zucchini, and I like a nice squash instead of a zucchini.
You think people in the Middle Ages would wake up and say, gee, this is a long time ago? That's
right.
Yeah.
You know what's great about Butch? My impressions are so much better when he does them first, and then I do them.
I just have to leave. I have to just leave.
And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I think I've even seen a behind the scenes video of it, right?
Yeah.
Of how you guys voiced it.
Is it about
movie
a
hasn't come
circus
out.
animal cracker?
It is. John Krasinski and Emily Blunt
Yeah.
play. It's actually, they said The Quiet Place is their first movie together.
Yeah.
That's a lie. Animal Crackers was. They play my daughter's parents. And so my daughter plays the main little girl in it, Mackenzie, and it's about this circus. Danny DeVito's in it. It's a beautiful movie. It's really well done. Patrick Warburton. And they are stuck in distribution limbo.
Oh.
I wonder why that happens. That's weird. Like
There's all sorts of, it's a terrible story, actually. It's really terrible.
Well, James, this is the place to tell it right here on Speech Bubble.
They have just been the contract. They'll take it. Somebody will take it for a while and say, "Oh, we're going to distribute it," and then they'll make them pay them a bunch of money. They've lost all sorts of money just trying to get it out there.
Just put it out there.
I feel like just with the names attached, people would want to buy
I
it right
know.
away. It's crazy.
And The Greatest Showman came out. That was a big
Yeah.
success about circus.
By
This
the way,
was
I just saw the
before
Dumbo
that.
trailer over the weekend. And
Yeah.
Danny
That's kinda
DeVito
like
is in Dumbo.
Yeah.
I know, and that's kind of the thing. This
Not
is going
Danny
to steal
DeVito's first circus movie.
Yeah.
I'm saying, look at that.
No.
Wow.
So there you
Well,
go.
anyway, that's cool. You guys did a movie together.
Yes.
And your daughter.
And she's a wonderful person. And
I would love to meet her someday.
yeah, you'll have to.
Have her on the podcast next.
That's right.
That's what we'll
I'm
do.
thinking
Yeah.
cage match Ludwig and your daughter.
Lydia,
I'm
yeah.
I
thinking-
think I would lose immediately.
Yeah, she
probably
would.
would.
Yeah, you
Yeah, you
would.
probably
But no, she's a fantastic. She's a very talented writer.
That's
and
killer.
wants
man.
to do. She's
And how old was she when you adopted her? She was
She
like
was 8 months old.
unbelievable. Wow.
She was found in a marketplace in China at 10 days old.
Found in a marketplace, like under a like. In
So
a,
they
in a
abandon the children there because it's illegal to abandon a child. You cannot give up a child for adoption in China. It's illegal, and they have the one-child law, and they don't want girls
Wow.
because boys can then help raise the family. So
And the family
very
name goes
poor
on.
farming community, and so she was found there, knowing the people that her parents, her biological parents, then obviously knew she would be found, taken to an orphanage. Taken to America, and
Wow.
so
Well,
they did the right thing.
Fortunately, the plan worked out. That's
Yes.
good. Wow. How terrible though in a country like that to have to be able to have to deal with that, the decision to make like that.
Yeah, really tragic. But so she loves it here, and she's a naturalized American citizen, and many people have said she should run for president. So
Maybe she could. Because Jace was found under this table like a week ago. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
it. I
he was
saw
really
that.
tall.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It was-
dude, what are you
I
doing?
snuck in here though on my own
it's,
accord.
it's a touching story, though.
Not
Isn't
so much.
it touching?
It is.
Again, not
in the
compared
wrong
to
way.
yourself.
Yeah, no.
No, wait. So some of the voices, let's just walk through. So there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I played Leonardo,
On
which is
which version? There's like 900
the movie
versions.
TMNT that came out that was supposed to kind of reboot.
Was that the
whole thing.
Weinstein movie?
Yeah, that was the problem. The Weinsteins bought it,
Right.
and took all the voice actors out and put celebrities in place of them.
Right.
And then we went in and revoiced our entire parts, stuff we had already done.
Again.
So because he wanted me to do it very Christian Bale.
Very Christian Bale.
Leonardo needed to be. So everything was, let me tell you something. It was.
What was your original voice? For
It was me.
Yeah,
It was me
okay,
doing me.
yeah.
And in fact, they kind of there's a little You can hear it, but
So they took you out, then they replaced you.
no, they didn't. No, they just made me redub. They made me, Nolan North, Mitchell Whitfield, and Mikey Kelly redub our own parts.
Okay,
But
got it.
they changed them up. They
Got it,
wanted
got it,
to
got it.
change the energy. They put Lawrence Fishburne in as the narrator because they needed a narrator, which was strange. They brought in Patrick Stewart, and Patrick Stewart's great. He's a
of course.
voice.
Famous as the poop emoji from the Emoji Movie.
That's-
Everyone knows
that's
him from
right.
that.
Where number 2? Where
Oh, you know?
number 2?
Yes,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
that's
Everybody
right.
everybody loves that line.
And I'm funny. I worked with the Weinstein Company on that movie Dougal
Oh yeah.
back in the mid 2000s. Very long story.
Yes.
But we had to revoice the movie because it was already done.
Yeah.
He wanted to redub with American actors, so I got to direct like Whoopi Goldberg and William H Macy and all these actors. So it was very and Jon Stewart. But it was just an interesting thing because I had to rewrite the dialogue for an American audience.
Yeah.
It's a running
Yeah.
theme with the Weinstein Company. Then.
Yeah, redoing animated films.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a shame because that movie actually was much better than what came out. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie.
I actually saw it. I actually didn't mind. I
It
thought it
was
was good.
beautifully done. The animation was great. I'm not like trying to apologize for it. I'm trying to say it was even better.
There was a poll that came out recently of what movie should be remade next, and like 90% of people. Oh, are we recording?
I think
Are we in?
we're
Oh,
back, yeah.
well, this is just random.
There was a poll, what?
90% of people said Back to the Future should be remade, and people on the internet are rioting right now. There's
See,
so many.
this is
I
the problem. I
disagree.
think people want to remake because they want to relive it. That's fine
Yeah.
to want to relive it, but don't remake it.
Yeah, just watch it.
Just watch it again.
Watch it again because
With fresh eyes.
Hollywood has no new ideas, so they'll want to remake it anyway. It's like guys, don't mess with that movie. It's
Yeah.
such a
The
great-
Lion King live action. It's not really live
yeah.
action. Come
It's-
on.
It's really not.
animated.
It's
And they
CG.
could have just taken the voiceover from the old one and just reanimated
Well, they
it.
did get
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones for Mufasa. Yeah.
Yeah. What a beautiful he was a stutterer. This is again, you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. This is a man who grew up a stutterer and very self-conscious and all that, and became one of the most powerful voices of our generation.
Look at that, amazing, very
And a
cool.
wonderful man. Yeah.
So you weren't in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV series in
No.
any form, shape, or form.
No, they did not bring me back. I went in and auditioned. I remember I was kind of like, "There's really no chance I'm going to get this, right?" That's right. Okay, thanks.
I could have sworn I saw you in pictures with like Rob Paulson and then everybody like the group. So Rob Paulson's been on 2
Yeah, they
versions.
brought him in. Yeah,
Technically
yeah.
3 now.
which is great.
3 now.
But he's not a turtle, but he's a foot soldier in the newest one.
Because the new one's
yeah.
the new one's like more cartoony one.
Yeah,
done by
it's like an
Andy's-
anime style.
Yeah,
anime
yeah,
cartoony. Yeah.
So
Well,
let's just come up with a property like that, James Shelley.
yeah,
It just
yeah.
keeps
That'd
getting
be easy.
remade over and
Yeah.
over.
well, you could do that with Fairly Odd
I'm
Parents.
working.
Yeah,
well,
seriously.
I could, but they
Be like Scooby-Doo.
I left Nickelodeon after 20 years. Pretty weird. Eh?
I know.
Pretty weird.
Big announcement. It was good. I watched it.
Did you
watched the
watch it?
announcements.
Thanks for
Along with
watching it.
6 million
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
people.
It's 5.9, but who's counting?
Well,
Okay,
whatever.
well, I round up.
Yeah, let's round up.
Unless we're talking about our age, then we round up.
Then we round
Unless
up.
we're talking about your age, then we
Sure.
round
Then we
up.
round
I'll
it
take
up.
it.
Then we round it
but
up.
so yeah,
Yeah, we'll buy Jason an adult beverage later on.
That's right.
Nice,
Maybe.
yeah.
Can't
No,
wait.
we'll never do that.
Nice cold
A
lemonade.
kombucha.
Oh,
We'll get you a
kombucha. Hey,
Talking
that's
about
got some
bubble
alcohol.
Trace amounts
tea.
of alcohol.
Bubble tea.
Yeah.
So, dude, continue. So now
TMNT. There was.
I have a fairly fun one here. You were on King of Queens as the voice of Nick Cage.
Oh yeah.
What now? How did
I didn't
you
know
did
this.
you do the voice of Nicolas Cage? Now, why on that
Well,
show? I love King of Queens.
Yeah.
Let me say, I'm a voice double for a lot of people
Right.
in Hollywood. And Nicolas Cage was one that I'd been.
James is
doubling for
actually
years.
doubling my voice right
That's
now,
right.
which
Yeah,
is the
that's right.
weirdest part. Yeah.
And it was an episode where they go to the movies and they're watching a trailer.
Oh God.
And it was a trailer for a new movie, and Nicolas Cage was there, and he was, my wife. I need to see my wife. And then, the thing about Nicolas Cage is he'll be talking like this, and then everything will get really hot. It'll get way up here.
Let's wait for it.
So yeah, he.
That's high
The
praise.
studying.
Yeah.
Now, do you because we, as you know, on the Big Speech Bubble here, we want to inspire people and
Yes,
encourage people.
absolutely.
How did you get into the voiceover profession?
Here's the thing that's very unique and rare about the James Arnold Taylor, or the Jat, as
the Jat.
people call me. Chat.
Is this like the Madonna, like
Yeah,
the Elvis?
yes,
Yeah, okay.
no, not at all.
The Jat.
I have wanted to do this since I was 4 years old.
Wow.
And I pursued it with a passion and a belief. As you have talked about many times before, if you have a vision and it is so powerful and it's in you and you believe in it, and doors will open, things will happen. And it did. It just happened for me in my career. I started as a stand-up at 16. I got into radio at 17. And within a year's time, I was one of the DJs with my own show at the radio station.
Which radio station?
It was KTYD in Santa Barbara.
Pretty cool. And you were born in Santa Barbara.
I'm born and raised in Santa
Very
Barbara. My
cool.
wife and I both born and raised in Santa Barbara, which
Look
is
at that.
very rare to find somebody actually from
Because no one's ever born in Santa Barbara.
No,
which
they
is the
just
weirdest
go there.
part. Yeah, they just
Once they make their money, they go
They
there.
go to Santa
If you're
Barbara.
born and raised there,
Exactly.
you then have to leave because you
And
can't
Jace,
afford
no
it.
one knows this. Santa Barbara is Santa Claus's sister. Did you know that?
Oh,
Santa Barbara.
interesting.
And Santa
Okay.
Monica is his other sister. Did you
I've
know
never
that?
heard
Yeah,
that
I
in
did.
my entire.
Just made it up
That's
right here.
great, man. I love
I just
that.
made it up. But no, okay, so you're from California. So do you think being from California gives someone an edge getting into the industry? Or like if you have talent?
No.
Because if you have talent and drive,
I think
you
if
can
you
be
have
from
talent,
anywhere.
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to tell everybody out there, you can be from anywhere.
Here's the thing I especially try to say, and shameless plug for my own podcast. I have a podcast now where I try to inspire people like you. I'm just trying to be like you.
That's cool.
I say to people, you know what you got to do is you got to watch. You got to take things in. You got to actually, because I think nowadays the Gen Zers, the millennials, they kind of want
Represent.
people. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but but you're
Sure.
doing. You're doing. So you have to do. So you have to watch this stuff and then learn from what you're watching, not just expect someone to give you something. And that's certainly what you had. You didn't expect anybody to give you anything. You went
No.
in and went, okay, this is what I do, and you had a belief in yourself and your product. And then that became contagious to the other people around you.
Yeah.
But you have to do that.
No, you have to make sure. And listen, I come from a family where nobody was in the industry at all.
Oh, really?
And we didn't have a ton of money and really nothing was handed to us. This
Yep.
is not to promote me or
No.
build me up. But when you're in a situation like that, it can still happen as long as, because I left Michigan for California at age 18, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go do this.
Yeah.
Now, it might
Cal
have been-
Arts.
Cal Arts, that's right. It might have been a foolish belief at the time, but like a young kid going, I can do anything. But still, you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to step out of that comfort
Yep.
zone. Even in my book, another plug for my book, we
Yep.
talk about stepping out of your comfort zone, obstacles you'll encounter, how to get past those obstacles, things like that. Any huge obstacles in your career path as you moved forward?
Well,
Other than the height thing. We'll talk about that later.
Well, there was a time back in 2005 where I lost my voice completely to black toxic mold.
Now, explain. What? Wait, what?
Yeah. And
Wait a
that was
minute.
fun.
This is like a Superman. The black
Yeah.
toxic
Yeah.
mold. Wait, no, there was. Wait, so you had black toxic mold in your house.
Yeah.
Well, where were you at the time in your career?
That was when my career was just really happening.
You were doing
was doing,
Sprig Spivak for Crash
yeah,
Nebula,
sure.
so you destroyed that, so that's fine. I'm joking.
TMNT, we had Fred Flintstone, we had Obi-Wan Kenobi. All of these things were Johnny Test. You may know of the show, Johnny Test.
Test by Scott Fellows.
By a fellow by name Scott.
Scott Fellows, yeah. I need to. Okay, when I get Scott in here, I'll get him in here. Right? Scott, I'm gonna have an hour of Scott thanking me for his entire career, and then we'll just go on.
Wow, it's the tough part
I
is
love
going to be
Scott.
all the bleeping. Because the biggest potty mouth.
Yeah, Scott's a great dude, but yeah, he does like them F words.
I love him to pieces, but yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
he does. Yeah, Scott's great. But so go ahead. So
His career was going very well
Whoa.
at the time. Fox, I was doing all these, I was a voice of many different networks and things, and woke up one day, February 13th, 2005, and could not talk.
Couldn't talk.
Couldn't talk. I was like, Mallory, whoa. It was, Michael J. Fox to the nth degree,
Wow.
and unable to get to any of the voices and stuff.
Oh,
And
wow.
went to my specialist out in Beverly Hills that, had looked at Frank Sinatra and Whitney Houston. I was okay with
Was it
all
Dr.
these.
Schnittman?
No.
No, I don't. I have a doctor named Dr. Randy Schnittman.
Oh, are you serious?
He was my doctor. Yes, that was his name.
And
As a plug for him.
he looked in my throat and went, ugh. And I went, well, that's not
Don't-
good.
don't do that.
You shouldn't do that. And he did. And he said, you got to stop talking. And I said, well, problem here. And he said, yeah, you got to stop talking for a good length of time and rest your voice and see if it heals. And you got to take these medications. And I said, for how long? He says, well, just indefinitely, just take these. And
Oh gosh.
and so I was like, okay, not cool. And I said a little prayer that day and said, God, please don't make this the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
And then cut to 6 months later, when we get our paperwork for my daughter, we find out that's the day she was born,
The day, that very day.
February 13th.
That was the greatest day.
2005.
Look at that.
So now
Now, 6 months later, was your voice better?
it was better. It took over a year to really get back. But I also worked with a guy by the name of Gary Katona, who helped people like Jack Klugman, who had throat cancer, and
Yeah.
he performed on Broadway after working with Gary.
Wow.
The vocal cords are muscles. So if you work them out and you train with them just as you would any other muscle, you can build it back up and you can get it back. So my voice is stronger now than it's ever been.
Wow.
I also went on a macrobiotic diet. I had to cut all sorts of things. I had to cleanse my body.
I remember hearing something about
Yeah,
that.
it was actually
we
when
didn't, we didn't hang out a lot back then, but I remember hearing about that.
You didn't want to.
No, yes,
but,
well, that's true. But I mean, but then now, did you? The black toxic mold was in your house?
Yeah, so we bought this house because we were about to adopt our daughter.
Right.
And this house was a money pit. Everything that could go wrong with this house went wrong. We had foundation issues. We had electrical issues. We had a gas leak that the gas company came out and said, we don't know how you didn't blow up. I mean, it's like angels protecting us.
Well,
I was lighting candles. We had a power outage, and I was lighting candles. They're like, you should have blown up.
Oh my God.
Lighting them off the stove.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I truly believe, and there's some divine protection going on.
Yeah,
That's
no,
amazing, man.
absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely. And I have stories my whole life.
Is this the same house you're in right now?
No.
No. God.
It's on Ventura Boulevard. You know, Little Ventura Boulevard, right by Coldwater Canyon.
Yeah.
Right there, and it was a flip, and the person was a realtor and a lawyer, so she kept us in a lawsuit for 2 years. And so what they did is they put nails through the pipes when they were building the house.
Right.
And so for the first 10 months we were there, the water was just dripping in the walls.
Oh, I see.
So I looked down and saw the baseboard was swollen. I ran my hand down to feel for moisture. My hand just fell right in.
Oh, jeez.
And then I, of course, did what anybody does. Stuck my face
Stuck
in.
your
Whoa,
face in
what's
it.
going on in there? And breathed in all the mold.
Oh, I see.
So they found 6 types of mold in the wall. They found all 6 in my bloodstream.
Wow.
And one of them was Stachybotrys, the black toxic mold.
Can I ask a question? Did you get any superpowers from this? Because
yes.
this is the typical comic book situation.
And here's the thing, I actually did.
What were the superpowers?
It's the lamest superpower ever.
What was it?
My sense of smell is so heightened now
Shut
Really?
up.
that I can smell a cigarette like 2 blocks away.
Whoa.
I mean,
we have to use this to fight crime.
Yeah,
Somehow.
if I could use it, I like Roxanne. You know the movie Roxanne.
Yeah, I
with Steve
do.
Martin. Yeah.
You know why I know this, Jace? Because it came out of the 1980s.
Love it. I know who Steve Martin is.
There you go.
Never heard of the movie.
I showed my daughter Roxanne. She loved it.
It's a great movie.
I'll have to see it.
It's a
She's
great
13.
movie.
She's got one.
I love
up on
Steve
you now.
Martin.
Yeah.
He's
all
great.
right.
I love the
Martin
part.
Short.
I love
Not
the.
seen Roxanne?
I haven't even heard of that.
Are you kidding me?
No.
It's Steve Martin. He's the star of it.
He's great.
Yeah, and Daryl
He
Hannah.
wrote it. Yeah,
Daryl
Daryl
Hannah.
Beautiful.
Steve Martin is a guy who's got a very big, long nose, like
It's
Cyrano de
Cyrano.
Bergerac.
It's basically a modern day telling of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Do you know who Cyrano de Bergerac is?
Okay, what's the next question for James?
He's not a Star
Just
Wars
smile
character.
and
Yes.
nod at that point. You
Yeah.
smile.
Oh yeah.
Very
Moving
good.
on.
Or you can do this.
good.
Oh, Cyrano, yeah.
Of course.
And
We
he was
all
the-
know.
he was
We
the guy
all
with the-
know.
and
You
then-
politely
yeah.
move on.
Of course, yes.
You politely move on. You got one superpower from the toxic
Yeah,
mold,
yeah.
and it's the power of smell.
Yeah, it's a lame power.
No, it's not.
But my wife went, does this smell bad? You know, and I can, yes.
Yes, it
There you
does.
go.
And when people actually do invite me over now and go, I think we might have some mold issues. Would you come in and smell the place?
Wow.
And I can go, like your place here is fine.
You think so?
Good. We're in
Well,
the
that's
clear.
good to know. We actually had at my home nearby, we had a mold issue about 10 years ago.
Sorry.
That we thought was bad, but we were really kind of taken in by a shyster
no.
guy who
Oh, no.
we went in the walls, we tore the whole house up, and we found teeny little patches of like where it would naturally be in any
Yeah,
wall.
yeah.
And it cost a lot of money, but fortunately during the process we were able to fix a lot of the house anyway, so that
Okay.
worked out. And at the end he comes in, he's going to test for the mold. He says, "Well, going to test for the mold. Everything's done." I said, "Well, here's the thing. You don't even need to do the test. Here's why. Because if you test and find mold, I don't care. And if you test and find none, then it doesn't even matter. So you can leave now." Because he
Yeah.
took me for a lot of money, but
Yeah.
we ended up fixing the house up anyway.
Oh, I'm so
So
sorry.
watch out out there.
Yeah, watch
Don't
out.
let them prey on your fear. If you have any
No.
fear, we don't want to have any fear going on anyway.
Not at all.
Right.
You have nothing to fear. That's
So
right.
that must have been a moment in your life where there was a little bit of fear coming in. Obviously, when you couldn't talk and your livelihood depends on your voice.
Yeah, and it was a lot of prayer, a lot of grace of God. I mean, honestly,
Absolutely.
here's another little story about it. I was doing the voice of Fox at that time,
Right.
and they changed the voice about a month before. So every once in a while they'd have me change the voice to different characters because I was doing like that '70s show.
What is the voice you do? The voice?
It was this, the big kind of Gary Owens, Don Pardo kind of,
Right, got it.
they're-
On Fox.
Yeah. If you morphed the two of them together, that's what you would get. And so, but then they decided they wanted this kind of like, they called him Vegas guy. And so I was doing this, kind of guy. And it was like, hey, come on, it's all new episodes of The Simpsons, Family Guy.
Whatever. Whatever.
And it was that thing. So for a few months, we were doing that. And then I lose my voice, and one of the only voices I can still do
Is this guy, because that's pretty much how I sounded.
You could still
I
do
can
it.
still work.
Oh, dude, that's amazing.
And then as I was getting my voice back, they went, yeah, I think we're going to go back to the other voice. Okay.
It worked out. That is the grace of God right there.
Yeah.
See, we call it favor.
Yeah.
We have favor. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
pretty cool.
amazing. Good
So,
for you.
yeah, there you go. And then through it all, it's another crazy story. All of that. Here's the other thing. People go, the worst thing that could happen to you, right? And in my stage show, I talk about that. And I say, no, actually, one of the best things, because again, it connects me to my daughter. But then also, if that had never happened, I never would have found out something that I found out when I was 42. And that is who my real father was.
Now, wait a second. Oh, God. Who your real father was at age 42. Now, how old are you now? 49.
I'm 49.
Okay, you're a little younger than me, so hang in there, kid.
Just a touch.
I'll teach you a few
Thanks.
things. So wait, so
Butch.
at age 42, Doc, you found out the man who you thought was your father
My entire life
was not your father.
Correct.
How did you find this out?
We did a DNA test.
Oh, dear Lord.
What brought upon the DNA test?
I was, here's where we go real deep. I was in therapy
Okay, right.
because he and I never connected. And I have an older brother and sister, always connected with them. But my parents were divorced when I was about a month old. And so he and I just never hit it off. I always wondered. So my therapist said, why don't I reach out to him? And she did. And he said, I don't think he's my kid. He finally admitted it after all these years. And I went, well, that's ridiculous. And I said that to my brother, and he said, that's ridiculous. Said it to my sister, that's ridiculous. Said it to my mom.
And they're both 7 feet tall.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing. My brother is 6'3", my sister is 5'10".
Wow.
And we don't look alike.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we probably should have known. But and I said it to them, and they were like, that's ridiculous. I said it to my mom. She got very quiet.
Oh, no.
And I said, oh, unless there's something you want to tell me. And she said, no. And so she still denied it for a long time. And then finally he and I did a DNA test, and the truth came out. And the funny thing is, here's the crazy part. Here's the capper. Here's the lifetime.
We're in the crazy part. So this is
Yeah.
crazier? Wow.
My actual father made his living with his voice doing what I did. He worked in radio, and he was a TV host, and he owned an ad agency, and he did what I.
What was it? How'd you find him?
My mom finally told me who he was, and I had grown up knowing about him because she had always talked about this man that was kind of like a mentor to her. And
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Was your mom an actress?
no.
Okay.
But so she worked in radio for a time when she was younger.
Was your real father a famous person you could mention right now that we would know?
You wouldn't know him, no. He owned a very successful ad agency up north.
Wow,
And
how about
one of
that?
the first real big ones. And he and a partner.
And you never had any contact with him your entire life?
I met him when I was 7. Of course, I didn't know he was my father. I met him once when I was 7 years old. And,
Is he still alive?
No, he was twice my mom's age.
Really?
So yeah, it was a one-time thing. And
dude, that's amazing.
so that's the whole other point that I make quite often is I'm not even supposed to exist. Because if these two people did the right thing, the things they were supposed to do, I wouldn't exist. But God can make a good out of anything, and he can turn things around. So
And there's
you
a
go.
scripture in Romans 8:28 that says, all things work together for good to those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And you're
right.
called to his purpose. my
certainly,
friend. So there you
yeah,
go.
I am called to it. I am adopted by him.
Good
and
for
so
you, man.
That's
Now,
why.
when did you start your Christian walk, my friend?
When I was 22.
Really?
Yeah, but well, I mean, I was searching my whole life,
Yep.
and I always prayed to God, and always kind of felt like He was there with me, and He had His hand on me, because there were many times in my life that I should not have survived things like burning beds and things, and
The black mold, burning
black-
beds. Wow.
Yeah, as a kid and stuff. But anyways, yeah. So He's had His hand on me, but so it was when 22 was when I realized, I actually got to.
Similar
take part in this.
story. I always felt the same thing as growing up, but I didn't get saved until I was 35, so a long time later.
yeah.
But still, but we'll talk about that.
Sure.
more. Let me ask you another question. How did it affect you? So it's been 7 years you've known who your real father is.
Yeah.
How have you gotten through that?
It's a trip, I'll tell you. And my mom and I, unfortunately, lost contact for a long time during that.
You probably
Now we're
felt
back together.
felt a little betrayed in a way.
I
would
was
imagine,
fine.
or-
It was actually I was very open to forgiving her and understanding, but she was
She's probably got
holding on to
some.
a lot of
She's got some
guilt and
shame. I bet. Yeah, I can
and
imagine.
so she had to kind of work through that, and God bless her and love her, and and so she's willing to accept that now. So yeah.
Wow, man, that dude, you have. Do we want to vote James Arnold Taylor the most interesting guest we've ever had?
I think it's already been
without
decreed.
slamming any other guests.
And I haven't even done any voices.
I mean,
yet.
you've
been
done
decreed.
a few.
We haven't talked about Star Wars,
I mean,
the biggest franchise in the world.
Let's get into that now. Now, Jason and I have a thing about Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah,
On the
I know.
podcast.
I
yeah.
know.
The big
Well,
speech
here's
bubble.
our thing. I have been damaged by Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in the 70s when
Right.
Star Wars was only in theaters.
Right.
And every movie got better than the next.
Right.
And there were only 3 movies. There was the original Star Wars, which I will never call New Hope. I won't call it that.
Okay.
It's called Star Wars.
Yeah.
Then there's Empire Strikes Back comes out. And then Return of the Jedi
But you
comes
even
out.
say you don't like Return of the Jedi.
It's Gone with the Wind to me compared to the prequels of Star Wars that George Lucas
Okay,
himself
okay.
did, which I was so disappointed in the prequels. I
Okay.
had to wait so long. Didn't love the prequels because I thought they were very disappointing story-wise.
Yes.
Yet they were still done by George Lucas, so there was still a flavor there
Yes.
of Star Wars. I think the most recent Star Wars have been taken over by the Disney Corporation, so there's no real heart there. It's just like, hey, put some lasers in there and put those characters in. And then
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit disappointed. No offense to anybody out there who likes Star Wars.
My stance is love the original, saw the prequels, loved the prequels. A little older, I was like, I think I like the original more than the prequels, still love the prequels.
Yeah.
I love Disney movies even more. I
Okay,
think
yeah.
those
Wow.
are my favorites.
That
I love
part's
the
a
Disney
little
movies.
weird.
That is
Yeah.
a little weird.
So, my
A
opinion
little
of that
weird.
I
is-
love them.
Yeah,
They're
yes.
great.
when Disney got it was kind of like the kids getting the keys to Dad's car.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they went, whoa, look at this. And they went a little too, whoa, back it up.
Back it up.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep.
Beep, 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 babe. What's babe? Hey, babe.
So anyways, the prequels, though, you have to appreciate them for this. Had we not had the prequels, we probably would not have most of the movies that we have right now with the technology that we have. Because George was the one that pushed the envelope, spent the money, and said, let's do this.
All right. Well, now, so we'll talk about that some other time. But getting into that, so you are in the Star Wars animated
Yeah, and
shows.
I have to
Which
thank
shows?
the prequels because
Yeah.
of the Clone Wars. Now, I will say this. You might like the Clone Wars.
The,
Oh,
the-
you
the
would
show?
lose- would love the Clone Wars.
Yeah, most people that like
Not the
original,
movie Clone Wars. Don't like the movie, the prequel Clone Wars. I don't like that.
Oh,
You're
no,
thinking
not
of
Attack of the
you're
Clones.
thinking
That's
of
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Attack of the
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
And then we did a movie. The first before the show came out, there was a movie called The Clone Wars, but don't watch that because that was when they were still trying to figure out the art and everything.
Okay,
and
but the
storyline.
series The Clone Wars,
series
which I
The
have
Clone
not
Wars.
seen, I will admit.
Yeah, if you
I should
come in
watch.
like season 2 on, it is
Pretty darn good.
It's great stuff.
Good.
And
Because you probably had real big fans who love Star Wars writing those scripts,
yeah,
right?
and Dave Filoni, who was our supervising director, who's a huge lover of Star Wars and grew up with all of it and knows what he's doing. He's a Butch Hartman at heart. He's a creator himself, creating an artist.
Nice.
And he was able to really work with George one-on-one and go, okay, but let's do this. Because that's the one thing. That's kind of the one tragic part of George Lucas is he's surrounded by yes people.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I've always
And
thought.
so when you say, oh, we want to do this, nobody's going to go, okay, but hang on one second. Let's, you know, and that doesn't happen. Dave would do that with George.
Right.
And
So
so-
like, you'd have Michael J. Fox come in and go, "Hey, George,
No,
can
wait.
we-
Okay. So like, I understand that you want to do the whole Chewbacca thing.
Kashyyyk and everything.
Yeah, but
but
Doc, you telling me? Yeah. Did you rip that off? So who'd you play in the Clone Wars?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. Which, look, most people that don't like the prequels will admit the coolest part about them was Ewan
definitely.
McGregor.
People are
I liked him too. I
going
did like
crazy. They want an Obi-Wan standalone movie.
They do, yeah.
It's a one
yeah.
thing.
I know. They should do it.
Yeah.
Although somebody else has brought up this, and I think it would be a good thing, like a 10-episode mini-series on
That'd be awesome on Disney Plus,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that'd be awesome. And
With Ewan
Clone
McGregor, yeah.
Wars is coming back.
Clone
on
Wars is
Disney
coming
Plus.
back, yeah, because the fans spoke out so much and they loved the show.
Well,
That's what people loved.
They're
it so
already
much.
doing a bunch of Marvel movies, aren't they? Like a Loki movie.
Oh,
like,
Loki, it's a series.
A Loki series.
Yeah, like 10 episode series.
Loki's a great character. I mean,
Loki is a
Tom
great
Hiddleston does a great
character,
job with that character. So, that's cool. Well, you know, he's no James Arnold Taylor, but
That's
he's Tom.
true.
I'm just saying,
No,
he's not
but,
my pal James Arnold Taylor.
So, but being the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi for 18 years now, coming up on
Is
18
that
years.
amazing, dude? That's incredible.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's so cool.
Thank you. It's afforded me a pretty wonderful life.
It has.
I got to host this event called Star Wars Weekends and Star Wars Celebration, which are the two biggest Star Wars cons in the world.
Amazing, man.
For many years, I hosted those. I've interviewed everybody from Frank Oz and has now become a good friend to Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher.
Looking, found someone you have.
No,
Okay, I
he's
see.
somebody who won't do the voice, right?
He will not do the
Yeah,
voices.
He won't do the voices.
Yeah.
Frank will not because he goes, I don't do voices. I am a character actor.
I don't do
characters."
voices. I'm a puppeteer. That's how he talks in his. He was
regular
in a
voice.
bunch of John Landis movies.
Yes, he was.
back in
Yeah,
the, in the
American
80s.
Werewolf in London
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Trading Places.
Yep. And he was he also directed Little Shop of
Yeah.
Horrors.
That's right.
One of my all-time favorite movies. By
Oh,
the way.
really?
I love that movie. Hey, so we're gonna wrap it up here with James Arnold Taylor. Anything else you want to say or plug or anything that you have coming up?
Please take a listen to my podcast. You'll be, it's like-minded. You'll like it. I think people
Yeah,
will like
definitely.
it. It's called Talking to Myself. It's on iTunes. It's on YouTube. It's on Android app. It's on all those places.
And your book you mentioned earlier.
My book is JAT 365, 365 Daily Inspirations for the Pursuit of Your Dreams.
I
Just
say.
JAT 365.
Love it. And anything else?
My YouTube channel, James Arnold Taylor.
James Arnold Taylor? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
just go to
He's
that.
got 3 first names. Not James
correct.
Taylor, not James
No,
Arnold.
3 first names, yeah.
Which is your favorite name out of the 3 of them?
Well, that's a whole thing because of the whole. Not James. James.
Okay, we'll call
Good
you that.
biblical name. I like it.
There you go. There
No
you go.
problem.
Which is also the brother of Jesus. He had a
That's
brother
right.
named
Not too
James.
bad,
Exactly.
yeah.
But there's a brother of Jesus, and there's a James who's an
Yeah.
apostle who's not his brother.
Yeah, didn't
so
write
we'll,
yet.
and we'll talk about that later. Anyway,
part 2.
it's been great having you in, man.
No, it has been great
It's
having
been awesome.
you in. No.
No, you've
Yeah,
been
no,
here.
I've been
because we're
here.
taking over now, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
do
It's
want
our
to
thing.
really
I do want to throw in
grateful.
one last thing. Right before the podcast, we spoke. A newsflash came up on my phone.
yeah.
News alert at Steve Hillenburg, creator of SpongeBob, passed away today. Today is what's today? November 27th.
27th. Yes.
November 27th, 2018. He passed away. Steve Hillenburg, good friend of mine, worked with him for many years over at Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Did you ever work on SpongeBob at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
You did a couple
and
times?
I met him a couple of times. And what a very nice
Wonderful,
man. Yeah.
wonderful guy. And
You were saying like kind of terribly shy.
I make everyone terrified when I'm around them anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe he was just terrified of me. But he was always like a shy guy, but always very friendly, always smiling, and just a great dude. And a great guy to work with. And our hearts go out to his family and his friends who knew him really much better than I did. So
God
anyway,
bless him.
thank you for being on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Can we have you back? You have so much to talk
Yeah,
about.
we should
awesome.
do another one. Well, we should
could do a
another
whole
one.
Star Wars
Yeah.
one.
You guys
That's
don't
all
even
we
need me.
No,
Yeah,
we
well,
don't.
Who
Yeah,
needs-
we just talk about Star
Actually,
Wars.
we muted your mic the whole time.
Perfect.
So it's basically just James, and then I
Perfect.
chime in every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, James Arnold Taylor.
Bye.
Bye, buddy. Roll the theme music.